Hi, and welcome to our Friday video for Facebook Friday. Today we are going to be making a set of cards using the paper that goes with the impressions of Abloom, but we are going to be using the stamp set with you in mind. And these are really nice because you can use any stamp set that you have on these particular cards. So we will be going through that. Before we get started, I wanted to let you know that we have an awesome starter kit special that ends tomorrow on the 31st. If you are interested, if you have a large wish list, this is a great way to get everything on your wish list and not have to wait. You can right now get $165 worth of product for $99 plus tax. There's no shipping on this particular order. If you would like to get more information on that, you can go to my website at inkycreationsbylinda.com, and on there you will see all of the benefits and the perks, and you can actually purchase that starter kit there, and then you would become a member of our team. There's no future obligation to purchase anything. All of my team are hobbyists, and they do not do this as a business. And so we have a really good time. We have a craft night that's on Zoom once a month because we're all over the United States. That's a lot of fun, but we would love to have you join our team and have fun with us if this is something that you're interested in. And then on every purchase, if you do decide to buy anything additional, every purchase you make after that, you would get at least 20% off. So if you are looking for a deal, this is certainly one that I think you could benefit from. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, send me an email, and you can go to my website and get more information on that. And I would love to answer your questions, and we would love to have you join us on some of our Zoom crafting nights where we have a really good time. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. At the end, I will probably mention the starter kit special again for those that join late. And then I also will show you the cards that I am doing this month for my club. And you can also get information for that on my website as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I love the paper in this set. It's really, really pretty. So I think that, it's just really nice and versatile. It's very spring-like, but obviously you could use it for summer as well. And to get the card kit that we are doing tonight, if you would like I cannot talk tonight. If you would like these 3 cards sent to you as a card kit where everything is cut, die cut, dry embossed, and punched out for you, then if you will place an order for $40 or more from my online store, then I will send you this card kit for free. Another way you can get it is if you decide to purchase the starter kit, I will also send it to you for free. So those are 2 different ways that you can get that. And so you can get those in that particular way. All right. So to start, you will have a Misty Moonlight card base that is standard. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Hi, Donna. I know where you're watching from. If someone else is watching, please feel free to list where you're watching from. And then we have a piece of designer series paper that is 5.5 by 4 1/4. And we are going to just adhere this to our card base. Whoops, my glue has been sitting since last night. I did work on some cards last night, but today I have been working. I'd much rather be doing cards. They're fun compared to, you know, but then again, my job is fun too, most of the time. All right, so we are just simply going to glue that down. You will have one of the things that I really like. Let me show you this. In the Impressions Abloom bundle, oh my goodness, there is a set of dies. I've actually got mine in the stamp set because that's where I am not telling you the truth. Here they are. They are all in this set. But there are quite a few dies, and you have these ovals that are really nice. There's one with a pattern, and then there's one that just simply cuts out the paper. So we're using both of those for this particular card. And so you will see whenever you open up your card base, this is the one, I don't know if you can see the embossing on it. This is the one that uses both in the white because it uses the one that just cuts it out, and then I ran it through the embossing folder using the pressed flowers, and then I'm leaving it on white so you can see it. And then this is the one that used both of them where it gives you that edge. It's just really pretty. So we are going to take this and put this kind of to the left side of our card. We don't really want to put it in the center, and I'll show you why in a minute. I'm just going to use some glue dots to adhere this because I don't want to have glue all over my card. And so sometimes I'll just use glue dots whenever I'm doing that. And I'm just going to put 3 or 4. You don't need like a whole bunch. So we'll just kind of tack a few of these on there just to make sure that it stays adhered to the card. I hope you guys have had a nice week. These weeks are always short weeks after a holiday, but sometimes they feel even longer. And I think it's because, I don't know, I just feel kind of discombobulated all week. It's like every day doesn't feel like the day that it is. All right, and then we'll put one more just kind of down over here. All right, and then I am going to just put this on our card. Whoops, if I can get this off my fingernail. There we go. And kind of put it over toward the left side, but kind of straight up and down. And then just kind of press it down. Okay. One of the things that I do like about using the mini glue dots is that they kind of give it a little bit of a lift. And then I'm going to use multi-purpose glue to put this down, and it will go inside of this, and it will actually kind of get pressed inside. So let's use our multi-purpose glue on that. And I'm just going to kind of tuck this in so that it goes a little bit underneath this blue. I probably could have put the white down first. In fact, I probably should have done that, but we'll just kind of pop that up a little bit. There we go. And then we can reshape this to go over it. There we go, just like that. Kind of adhere that down. Okay. And then you will have in your card kit all of these little flowered pieces, which are lots of fun to cut out. But they will be die cut for you, which is really nice. So this is going to be our label. And then you will have a straight stem, which we'll use over here. And then we will have one that has like a place for 2 different flowers. And just to kind of show you the placement of these, you will have a fresh freesia, which will go up here. You will have a pool party and a misty moonlight. And you can put them on whichever way you would like. I put the Misty Moonlight over here because that way the pool party is next to the Misty Moonlight and they don't, you know, have the same thing. And then you will have, let me dump this out. There we go. You will have some leaves and some of the flower centers. So I tell you what, let's start kind of putting some of this down. The nice thing is, with this, I'm just going to use a couple of glue dots. I'm not going to use a lot because the other things on top of it are also going to hold that down. So let's grab a couple of glue dots. We'll do one here just because that's a little bit bigger place in it. And we're just going to do one more, because you really don't need a lot since we're going to be putting the leaves and the flowers on top of this. I just want something to kind of hold it in place. Okay, so let's take this one and and we will trim this on the bottom with our snips in a minute. And then on this one, let me set that off to the side. We'll put some glue dots on it. And I'm just going to do maybe 2 or maybe 3 at the most on this one. So we will do 1 here. Whoops. And we will do 1 up here. And then finally, 1 more kind of down here where the stems meet for the 2 different ones. Let's see. And we're just going to kind of put this right here. And the nice thing is too, actually I probably won't even trim that because our sentiment is actually going to go over the bottom of that. So I'm not too concerned about this being underneath this. You could trim it if that bothers you, but I'm not going to worry about it. All right, I'm going to use a dimensional and put on top of this, or not on top, but to adhere this. And I'm just going to do 1. You can do as many as you would like, but for time's sake, so you don't have to sit here and watch me peel everything off, I'm just going to do the 1. All right, actually, I'm going to do it like this, okay? And then what's nice is you have all of these little centers. This is made with Blackberry Bliss, and so I am going to just put a little bit of glue on the back of this. And I don't do a lot just because this does have like some little die cut holes in it. And I don't want the glue coming through those. So I'm not going to press it down real firmly either. Because if you see, you can already kind of see the glue peeking out a little bit. But the good thing is it dries clear. So I'm just going to let it dry the way it is. And then on the other stems, I'm going to use dimensionals for these flowers. But I'm going to use I think I'll use the smaller ones on these. Well, actually, let's see. Let me cut some of these. I'm at the edge of my dimensionals because I used up this sheet. So I'm going to cut these just a little bit smaller and use some of them on the back. Because they're a little larger than the little dimensionals, but not a whole lot. They're not as big as the regular size ones. So let's see. And then we will just kind of put them at the tops of these flowers, or at the tops of these stems rather. We'll do 1 right here. Okay, and then you will also have these smaller Blackberry Bliss centers for the flowers, and I'm going to use glue dots on these instead of the glue just because that way it doesn't get messy. And we're just going to put 1 on each of the centers of these. I love the paper and the colors in this. The blues and the purples are pretty. And you know, it's probably, we don't usually walk out into a field. Well, I guess we do see some blues and purples, but it's not like they're super prevalent. And then you're going to have all of these leaves. And so before we put these down, I'm going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment so that we can glue that down first, and then we can see where we want to put our leaves so that they don't get covered up. So I am going to use Misty Moonlight and stamp Happy Birthday on this one. And obviously, if you don't have this stamp set, it's called With You in Mind. Let me show it to you one more time. But it's really nice. It has Happy Birthday, Best Wishes, Thank You, and Thinking of You. And then it has a cupcake, a flower, a star, a heart, and a little leaf. It's a nice basic set to have because it gives you a lot of different options. But if you don't have that particular set, you can use any one that you do. And this is a new Misty Moonlight set, or Misty Moonlight ink pad, and it's not wanting to come open for me. There we go. I just knew I was going to end up with ink all over me. All right, so let's go ahead and ink this up, and then we are just going to stamp this. There we go. I don't think we're using this blue anymore, so I will go ahead and close that up. All right, and then I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. So let me grab a few of our larger dimensionals. It is hard to believe that it is already the end of May. Oh my goodness, this year is going by so quickly. I feel like every year I say that, and then the next one comes and goes just as fast, if not faster. So, all right, so then I'm just going to kind of put this toward the bottom. There's no rhyme or reason. Obviously, you can put it wherever you would like. But that's where I'm going to put this one. And then now I can put my leaves on here and not wonder if they're going to be covered up. So I'm just going to use glue dots for these. And it's just 4 random leaves. So you can put them wherever you would like on your flower stems. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick a glue dot on each one. And try not to flip them over like I just did on that one. Let's see. There we go. And one more. Let's see. We'll flip that one over on the back. Okay. So, and this is, see how there's a little bit of glue peeking out right there? I'm just going to put this one right over that so that I can kind of cover that up. And then we will just kind of tuck this one down a little bit to where it doesn't completely cover up that flower. And then we will put one up here. And then another one kind of down here. All right, so then for our embellishments, I am going to be using the Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. I love these embellishments. I think these are so pretty. And for this particular card, I want to use the ones that are more clear. So these are really neat because the ones down here are more Strawberry Slush. These are the Pretty in Pink, and then these are kind of clear, but they have a little bit of gold flaking in them, which is really pretty. So I'm going to use the ones that are a little more clear for this particular card. Hey, Peggy, I just saw you on here. It's good to see you again. All right, and then we'll do that one. Okay, and then we're going to use our, here it is. We're going to use our iridescent striped trim, and we are just going to tie a bow with this. And kind of put this down at the base of one of these flowers, and that will be our bow. Okay, so, whoops, I feel like let's see, we'll trim the edges of this. And then use a mini glue dot on the back. And just put this kind of at the base of our thing. So there is card number 1. I will tell you that whenever I send this to you, you will also get a piece of 3 3/4 by 5 for the inside, as well as some designer series paper to put on the inside. I am not going to do that right now, but that's what will be for you to decorate the inside of your card. So that is card number 1. Thanks, Donna. I do too. I just love these colors, and I think this DSP is so pretty. It's just really nice. So, all right, so that's, whoops, card number 1. All right, for card number 2, we are going to use, let me move this out of the way. We are going to use the Pretty in Pink for our card base. And this is, let me give you the measurements. This is 6 3/8 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So it's kind of a fun fold, but to me, I don't know. I kind of call it like a cheater fun fold because you're not really doing anything super fancy. It's just that, you know, it's a little different than your normal card bases, so to speak. So, all right. So let's see. Here we go. All right. So the first thing is you will have a piece of designer series paper that is 4 by 5 1/4. That is this Darling Duckling with the graphs. To me, it looks like graph paper. And we're going to put this on the inside. So let's adhere that down. So pretty. I think yellow and pink are so pretty together. I don't know. There's just something that makes me think of Easter or spring, and it's just kind of a nice combination. My mom's favorite color was always pink, and so we used to kind of get tickled because she just loved her pink stuff. All right, and then you will have a piece of designer series paper like this, and this is going to get glued down right here on this left side of the card. So let's glue that. I did finish up last night my club cards for this month. I had an email go out this morning. If you are not on my email list and you would like to join that, you are welcome to go to my website, and it will give you a prompt to join my email list, and then you can get information on any of the videos that I do, but also on my ordering specials, as well as my card club that I do each month. And And so after 6 consecutive months of purchasing the card club kits each month, you will get $25 of your choice in product. And so you can do that. So this specialty paper is really pretty. I don't know how much of this you can see because I think there's a glare on it. But this is the Flower Foils specialty paper. And this one is in the strawberry slush. So you will have a piece of this, and we are just going to adhere this. So we only want to put glue on this one side because otherwise it'll stick to the back. So let's just put glue right over there. Hey, Betsy, I just saw your message. So I am going to kind of move this up just a little. All right. And you just kind of want to center this. And I don't think there's any rhyme or reason. I just try to make it straight, which some days that's a challenge for me. So, you know, just do your best. That would be my recommendation. So in your card kit, you will also have these other pieces. You will have a circle that we're going to use for our sentiment, a garden green leaf, and then you will have some of these little flower buds. There will be one in Pretty in Pink, one in I think this is in Darling Duckling, because I don't think it's Daffodil Delight. I think it's Darling Duckling. They're really close in color. We have another Strawberry Slush, a Misty Moonlight, and another Pretty in Pink. So we are going to stamp our best wishes first. So I am going to use Strawberry Slush ink. And I will tell you, I think I like all of the in colors a lot this year. But this is the one I tend to migrate to the most. But I love this. So obviously you could put anything you wanted to on this circle. I decided to say best wishes. You know, you could use this for, I don't know, a wedding card if you wanted. If someone's retiring, I guess you could use it for that. I don't know if you'd want to tell them best wishes, but, you know, hopefully they're excited about doing that. And then we are just going to pop this up on dimensionals down here in the right corner. So let me grab a few of our dimensionals. Oops, here we go. So then I am just going to kind of put this down here to the bottom right. And then we are going to use some of these little flowers. We'll use some of them for the inside. I'm going to use the tall green leaf and just adhere this flat. So I'm going to use I'm sorry, I can't talk again. The mini glue dots on this. It's like the rest of the word did not want to come out. All right, and we'll do one more. And then we are just going, I don't worry about putting a million glue dots on these type of things because I know that I'm going to have other items on top of it. And so I just kind of put a few because the other things on top of it are also going to hold that down. Donna, let me get the name of it, but I think it's called Flowering Foils. Let me grab one of the packages so that, here we go. So, oh, I'm sorry. It's called Flower Garden Foils. The number for it is 165511, but it's really pretty. It's got the cloud cover, the strawberry slush, and then it also has, I don't know if I have any left in this one, it also has like the Pretty in Pink on this. So, but I I love the colors of this. And they have like there's 2 sheets of each color. Oh, I do have the lighter one. So here's this one also. And all 3 of them have not only the flower, but they also have like a geometric pattern. If I can get this one out, here we go. So I don't know how well you can see this, but it's almost like a geometric type pattern, but you get one of the geometric and one of the flower in each of these 3 colors. So there's 6 total sheets in this, but it is called the Flower Garden Foils, and that's what I used for that. See, this is the great thing about having a small craft room. Everything is at arm's length. So, all right. So then we are going to take the larger of the Pretty in Pink. Hi, Marianne. The larger of the Pretty in Pink buds that we have here. And we're going to kind of put this at the base. So let me grab a mini glue dot. So we'll do this one. And obviously you can put these in any order that you would like. This was just how I did it the first time, and I like the way it looks, so I thought I would repeat the same order. And then we're going to do the Misty Moonlight one and just kind of stagger them to where, you know, you can see all the different colors. And then we're going to use the Darling Duckling and do it last. And I'm also going to use the mini glue dots on it, because otherwise I feel like if we put everything on dimensionals, it's going to start stacking up. So I'm going to do 2 on that one and just kind of put it at a different angle. And then we will tie another bow with our iridescent striped trim. Yeah, I do too, Donna. It's so pretty. I really like the cloud. Whoops, I just undid that. I really like the cloud cover color in that too, because it's just really pretty. And it kind of gives, you know, a little bit of sparkle, but it's not really glimmer paper. But it definitely adds a little bit of extra to your card, which is kind of fun. All right, if I can tie a bow tonight. All right, so then let's trim our bow, because we have pretty long tails on this. All righty. And then we'll use a mini glue dot. And you can make your bow as long or as short as you would like. Since mine is kind of at the bottom of the page, I probably, before I put this in the mail, I'll probably trim these tails just a little bit more. And then now we are going to use, this time, we're going to use the more of the gems that are in the middle, or the embellishments in the middle. So I'm going to use the ones that are more pretty and pink and put those on our card. So let's see, we'll do one over here, and then we'll do a couple of little ones, just kind of random on the foil paper itself. And then we'll do a couple more up in the corner. Sometimes that's kind of fun. If I can get this one off, there we go. All right, so here we go. Here is card number 2. All right. Oh, and then these, sorry, I didn't tell you this. You know what? We'll go ahead and do this for this one, because this is one of my favorite tricks to do this. So in order to do the inside, one of the things that I like to do is I will flip the card piece over that's going to go on the inside, and I will line it up with the one that is on the front, and then put my glue around on this. And then whenever I have it lined up where I want it, I will just close the back on it and then open it up. And then that way, make sure it's straight. And this one's kind of easy because I want to go with the lines that are kind of in the graph pattern of this paper. And then what's nice is then whenever you close it, it's automatically not going to show. So that's kind of nice. And then we will use glue dots to adhere these to the bottom on the inside. So let's grab some glue dots. And we will just do, you'll have the strawberry slush one, and we'll put it kind of in the corner. And then we have our small pretty and pink one. And we will put that one just layered kind of on top of that. And then that way, and then we'll just leave the rest of it blank so that you can use that to write your message. But this is card number 2. All right. So now let's do our final card. And I will tell you, this one is probably my favorite. I think they're all fun and they're all nice, but I don't know, I really like this one. I like the way it turned out. So this one is what I would call like a tone on tone because it's white on white. And I just think it's really pretty. So you will have a white card base that's just 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And we will just use our bone folder on that to burnish the edges on that. And then you will have a piece of white cardstock that has been embossed with the exposed brick. And so we are just going to adhere that down to our card front. Marianne, I don't always do the insides of the cards. I do, like for my club and for my classes, but I don't always do them online. It kind of depends on the day. But I usually always include something in there so that even for like this, I will always put some type of paper in there so that people can do that. So, all right. And then you will have 2 pieces of the strawberry slush cardstock. And you can tell this one's skinnier than this one. So the way they're going to go is like this. So the long one that's skinny is going to go sideways or landscape. And then this one is going to be portrait. And then you will have 2 pieces of designer series paper that should, and this one does not, so we will have to trim it. Or no, I know what it is. That one's supposed to be even. And that one will fit on that. And then this one will fit like this, but it will be even. So let's go ahead and adhere these. So we'll take this designer series paper and adhere that to the strawberry slush. This is, like I said, this one's probably my favorite of the 3. But you can pick which one you like the best. But I don't know. I just really like the strawberry slush color. And I feel like this one just really kind of brings that out. All right. And then on this one, the edges are going to match up on this one. At first, I was thinking it was like that one with a border all the way around. And it's not. So let's go ahead and adhere this one down. Try to center that. All right. Okay. So what we're going to do first is take our long one that has these little, I don't know, it almost looks like a little flower sprig on them. I just love this. And we are going to just adhere this down here. And I am just going to use regular adhesive. You can either use seal or your multi-purpose glue. And put that down. Probably leave maybe a 1/2 inch border at the bottom. It doesn't have to be precise. Just whatever looks good to you. And I line it up to where it is lined up exactly with the piece of embossed white. It doesn't go all the way to the card edge, okay? And then we're going to use dimensionals and put this one on top of that. And so the dimensionals will make this one pop up just a little bit more. So let's grab some dimensionals. Whoops. We'll do one in the middle. All right. And then the one thing I do try to do on these is make sure that I have the flowers going in the right direction, because I have been known to put them on there and then realize they were upside down. So you might want to check that so that your cards don't look like mine. So there we go. And then you will have, again, these die cut stems, and these are in garden green and the strawberry slush. And then these little bitty ones, there will be 3 of these really small ones. One is in the pretty and pink glimmer paper, and then you'll have 2 in the strawberry slush. Okay, so we will actually use those on our sentiment piece. So let's go ahead and do our stamping so it can have a second just to dry. We'll set that off to the side. And so on this one, we're going to stamp the word thank you. We set that right there. And we're going to use strawberry slush to stamp. All right. Push this up so you can see stuff. Sometimes I feel like I look in my phone and I don't always see what I'm doing. So I figure you can't see it either. All right, so then we're just going to stamp this and try to get it straight. And this die cut was just done with the postage, perennial postage dies, which I really like. I use them quite a bit. And so I'm just going to kind of let that dry for a second and set that aside. And so let's go ahead and adhere our garden green leaves down first. All right, so we're going to put the first one just kind of over here to the edge. So again, I'm going to use our mini glue dots and just put a couple, because we'll have stuff on top of it, so we don't have to go crazy on this, because our flowers will be on top of it and some other stuff. So I am just going to put this one, whoops, kind of over here off to the side. And you can let the leaves hang off just a little bit if you would like, just to give it a little bit of dimension. And then we will take this other piece and kind of angle it a little bit so that our flowers are going out at an angle. So I'm going to just put a couple on this one as well, because again, our flowers will kind of hold that down. Hey, Tammy. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a third, well, actually I'm not, because I know that other flower is going to hold that one down, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so then I'm just going to kind of angle this just a little and then leave it like that. And then you will have 2 of the strawberry slush flowers. So I'm going to use dimensionals on those. So let's use some of these ones that are a little bit bigger than the regular, or bigger than the miniature ones, but yet not as big as the large size ones. All right, so we're just going to put one of these up here on top of that, and then we will put one on top of this stem, whoops, right here. And then we will use our dimensionals to actually make the centers for these flowers. Okay, so now that this has had a second to dry, we are going to use a combination of glue dots and dimensionals down here to put this on our card at the bottom. So let's go ahead and add that. So I'm going to put a glue dot on the top part, and then I'll put dimensionals on the bottom part. Make sure I have this right. Yep. And that way, actually, I'm going to use the small dimensionals on this because I don't think it hangs off that far. And so I want to make sure that my dimensionals are falling where I want them to. All right. So then we are just going to take this and have it, just kind of center it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just, and then kind of push this down. There we go. And then you will have these 3 small flowers. So again, these are 2 strawberry slushes and 1 of the Pretty in Pink glimmer paper. And I am just going to use glue dots, the mini glue dots on these, because I don't want to have these on dimensionals. I don't want to pop them up quite that much. You know what though? I'm going to do the glimmer one first. So let's do it. Kind of ball that up just a little. Sometimes I like the glimmer paper ones, or I'm sorry, the glue dots, just because they give it just a little bit of height, but not too much. And it's kind of nice to just give it that little bit of extra flair without, you know, super in your face, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead and tie a bow with our iridescent striped trim. I love this ribbon because it's just, thank you, Diane, because it's just, I don't know, so versatile, and it goes with so many different things. And I love the way it picks up the colors of whatever paper or embellishments you're working with. And especially if you start putting this with glitter paper or foils, oh my goodness, it just really picks up all those colors and it just makes it nice. All right, so let's just kind of play with this a little bit and get it to the size that we want it. There we go. It's a little better because I don't want it to be a gigantic bow. There we go. All right, and then I will trim the edges. All right, and then we'll use a miniature glue dot on our ribbon just to kind of, and then we are just going to kind of put this at the base of our flowers. And then now we are going to use, out of these embellishments, we are going to use the strawberry slush ones for this card, for a portion of it. So I'm going to put one up here, and then we'll do one of the smaller ones maybe over here. And then we'll do another small one. How about right here? And then I'm going to do some of the pink ones for the centers of our flowers. You could probably use the strawberry slush ones on the flowers too, but I kind of felt like if I use the others, they kind of show through. So this is the front of our card. Okay. Oh, I think for the inside, all I really did was I stamped a leaf in the garden green ink just to kind of, give it something but I didn't really put like a lot of extra paper in here. Let me move that before I dip this in it. And I just kind of put this down here in the corner just to spruce it up just a little, but not too much. Okay, so then that is the front of this card. All right, so let me show you all 3 of our cards that we made today. And then you can tell me which one is your favorite. So again, if you would like a card kit to make these 3 cards, if you will place a $40 order with me by next Thursday, and I did not look at the date. So Sunday is the 1st, so 2, 3, 4, 5. By the 5th, then I will send you a card kit to make all 3 of these for free. And so you can do that. If you want to join my email list, please go to inkycreationsbylinda.com and it will give you a pop-up to join my email list. And then finally, tomorrow ends our special for the starter kit. And it's fantastic this month. Honestly, it's the best one that I've seen since I've been a part of Stampin' Up! For 5 years. And it is $165 of product for $99 plus tax. There's no shipping. So if you are interested in that, I do have a page on my website that will give you more information. But I would love to have you join our team because it would be a lot of fun to have you added to it. So if you have questions, please feel free to leave a comment with your email address, and I will definitely get back with you. Our club cards this month, I sent out an email this morning about these, but if you are interested in these, I am going to be updating my website tonight because I don't think I've updated it yet with the photos. But here are some sneak peeks for you of these, and then but you will get in your kit enough cardstock and cardstock, ribbons, and embellishments to make 2 of each one. Everything, yes, Marianne, 5 years. How crazy. But everything will be cut, die cut, dry embossed for you. And I don't think we have anything punched this time, but if there was, it would be punched for you. We are using I always get this mixed up. It's the Kintsugi, I think that's how you say it, Inspirations set to do this with. And this paper is just gorgeous. It's so pretty. And there's really not a lot that you have to do to it to just make it beautiful. And in addition to that, I use the embossing folder that comes with that set on, I think, 2 of these cards. Yes, on 2 of these cards. So I think that it's one of the prettier sets, in my opinion, in the catalog. And I'm not even a light pink fan, and I just love these cards. So if you are interested, please feel free to go to my website, get more information, sign up for my email list. And I would love to have you get some information there just to see if that is something that fits what you would like. After you have purchased 6 months of the club, you will get $25 in product for free from me as a thank you gift. And so if you have questions, please feel free to let me know, and I would be happy to answer. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and thank you so much for joining and watching the replay, but I really appreciate you very much. So thank you, and I will see you next Friday. Have a great weekend.